My name's Councillor John Dennis, and alongside me, Councillors Rick Arend and Alec Duke. We're members of the Licensing Act 2003 subcommittee today, Thursday, the 13th of June, 2024. The first item on the agenda is declarations of interest. Do any members have any interest to declare? No? Okay, thank you. Agenda item 2, minutes of the meeting held on the 29th of April 2024. Okay, you all agree? Yep, that's fine. Thank you. Item number 3, the main item on the agenda, an application made under section 34 of the Licensing Act 2003, Cloud 9, 142 New Begin, Hornsey. I have to read out a list of important points here, but so bear with me, please. It's off the recording. These proceedings are being recorded, and in the event of an appeal to the Magistrates' Court, a transcript will be provided to the court. Please bear in mind that whilst this is not a court of law, all parties will be given a fair hearing. All parties have had a copy of the procedure which will be adhered to. Please would all parties state their name and why they are present for the purpose of the recording.
Claude Eid, applicant. Thank you.
Mark Parker, representing people against this application. Yeah.
Thank you.
Faye Glascott, representing the Licensing Authority.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Emma Appleton, legal advisor to the committee.
Thank you.
John Wiley, committee manager.
Rob Close, committee manager.
Okay. I can confirm that members have read all the documents provided by the parties. Further documents will not be accepted unless all parties agree. Are there any additional documents? No, thank you. Do the parties wish to call witnesses? Thank you. Do the parties wish to ask questions of each other? Thank you. The time limits for the hearing are opening statements, 3 minutes, evidence from any witness, 2 minutes each, questions of any other party or witness, 3 minutes, summing up, 2 minutes. Are all the parties content with the time limits, although the subcommittee will allow a degree of flexibility so that attendees have enough time to make their comments? You happy with those? Okay, thank you. I now call upon the Health, Safety and Licensing Manager, Louise Wilson, who is not here today, so unfortunately, Faye Glascott, sorry, I can't find it again. I call upon the Health, Safety and Licensing Manager, Faye Glascott, for any updates in relation to the application under consideration.
Thank you, Chair. There was Agenda B. This was additional papers received from the applicant on the 4th of June. There was Agenda C. This was additional papers received from Christopher Heatley on the 11th of June. And Agenda D, additional papers received from the applicant on the 11th of June. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. We're up to the applicant providing his opening statement. Oh, I missed that bit. I'm sorry. This is a bit.
Yes, a lot to read on that.
A lot to read in one go. The Principal Health and Safety Licensing Officer, Faye Glascott, to outline the application. You just did that, didn't you? No, you didn't. No. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This application was made under Section 34 of the Licensing Act 2003 by Claude Eid in respect of Cloud 9, New Begin, Hornsey. This application is shown in full at Appendix 1 of your report. The application seeks to permit the following variation. Extend sale of alcohol and late night refreshment hours Friday and Saturday until 01:45 hours. Amendments are proposed to the existing conditions. These are shown at page 2 of your report, and members may wish to consider if these are enforceable as written or whether these are statements or duplications of existing legislation. Further advice can be given should members require this. Opening hours are to be extended Friday to Sunday with a terminal hour of 2. The current licence has permission for the sale of alcohol Friday and Saturday from 10 AM until 100 hours each day. The licensing authority is satisfied that the application has been advertised in accordance with the Act by public notice on the premises, in the local newspaper and on the council's website. 2 relevant representations were received against the application. Both representations received were from persons linked to a business, linked by a business interest in the locality of the premises, with one of the 2 parties also living in the locality. Representations are shown in Appendix 3 of your report. No representations were received from any responsible authority. When representations are received by the licensing authority in line with the provisions of Section 35 of the Licensing Act 2003, the subcommittee must have regard to the representations, take such steps mentioned in Section 35(4), if any, as it considers appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives. The steps are to modify the conditions of the licence to reject whole or part of the application. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, FA. We'll come now to the applicant, who is required to make an opening statement and produce witnesses if applicable. To you.
So I keep forgetting that. Hello, everybody. I'm gathering here with yourselves today, honorable gentlemen and ladies. The only reason I wish to extend the sales of alcohol is because with a small time of when people come to my premises, we've got several bars down the street, down the road, and they all shut sort of like 12 or a bit after 12. When I introduced the late license, people been coming to my end sort of after 12, and they've been sort of like trying to drink as much as they can because they know that the last order is at 1. So I'm here to change that idea, have people come in the last coming at 11:30 instead of coming up till 1 AM. So the last entry will be 11:30, but they'll be able to sit and relax and have more drinks with having time between a drink and another. That's why I'm here. That's the idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, one other thing. I have introduced as well another measurement to have a door staff SIA registered to make sure to prevent the crime and disorder. As for the nuisance, I have taken all measurements to move the DJ to the back, and I bought my own equipments. So my manager plays the DJ anyway, so he works for me, and we play it to the low music possible. So we've taken that measurement as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Since this license has been granted till 1 o'clock, nearly every weekend we've had not trouble, but shouting and bawling and people arguing outside. And it's quite a large area where people live over shops. So there's quite a lot of people.
Can you tighten this up and make it a question?
Yeah, sorry. So, but like Claude said, people have been coming up after other pubs have shut and shut like that. So is it definitely going to be no entry after 11:30? So if you're not in, you're not allowed in, and that's going to be enforced. Because what we worried about is the noise and all that, moving from 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30, to 2 o'clock, 2:30, because everybody's doing it, but it's just an hour later, they've had another hour's worth of drinking. You know what I mean? So it just makes it later into night. And the people that live over the road to this side and to our side,
Can I say
we're
you'll get your,
concerned about that.
you get your chance to make your point later on, but this is just questions for the moment, please.
Right, so it's definitely 11:30. Right.
Can I just answer?
Yes.
Please? Yeah. Thank you for your question, Mr. Boy. I introduced 11:30 deliberately
Right.
for my neighbors because as a person, as a father of 2 kids, I do not wish to have any disorder or any crime or any shouting or any nuisances in my place. And I truly ask you, if you believe that I shouldn't be granted that license, I do not want Mr. Parker to leave here upset or sad with the decision, but I can assure you that I've taken the highest measurement ever to tackle all that disorder, all the nuisance, all the anything you wish to ask me right now. That's why I brought into one of the conditions, 11:30, the last order. I brought the security staff on the door. I even took a decision to close one of the doors on the side so nobody come out on or inside.
Right,
from it.
yeah.
So only one. I've even instructed all my employees that we make sure that 4 people at the time leave when they come to leave in the end of the night. So we gradually make them. That's why I wanted that longer time, so people can start leaving, but rather than going all at once out, shouting outside or waiting for a taxi. So I'll make sure that 4 people at the time. Yes, this is what I've taken as measurements. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yeah, you will get a chance to tell the whole story a bit later on. Members, have you any questions at all?
Sorry, you already have a 1 o'clock closing time. And obviously people come to your place after the other pubs have shut, obviously to get last minute drinks. Do you not think that going till 2 o'clock is actually going to add to a problem of people getting more drinks when they've already had quite a lot?
Thank you for your question. The reason I've introduced 11:30 is because I wanted people to come from 11 to mine. And because I'm introducing the late refreshment, sir, so people can come and drink. And then when we feel that they've had too much to drink, we'll offer them a taxi home, we'll offer them coffee, we'll offer them refreshments even in the end of the night to cool them down, to make sure that they get home safely. Thank you.
Now, with all due respect, at 11:30 or 12 o'clock, they still have had a lot of drink. Do you think going till 1:45 and 2 o'clock closing is enough time for drinking up? Obviously, people always get a last minute drinking. It's usually half an hour drinking up time. Do you think 15 minutes is enough?
At the moment, I've got my license till 1 o'clock and I've been shut in 1:45. I've shown footage, me shut in 12:44 sometimes, or 12:40 or 12:30. It's not necessarily has to be till 1:30 every Friday or Saturday. But when I have venues, when I have weddings, when I have birthdays, when I have anything, or sometimes I make it like a private event for that reason. Thank you.
Sorry to ask these questions, but please stop me if it's the wrong avenue. You talk about insulation in the soundproofing. Is that relevant to this debate? Is it insulation or is it sound insulation? Is it to the required standards as currently? Because I'm looking at, the noise.
For the music, you mean, sir?
Yeah, general noise and music, because I understand you've got a flat above, and I mean, I know the difference between insulation and sound insulation. That's just thought to make that point. Has that been addressed?
Yeah, that's why we dropped the music down. We don't have any private DJs anymore, by the way. We play the music ourselves. It's like I recorded the music. We put it in the back, we play it really low.
So have we got, you know, soundproofing measures
I
already
moved-
in place
I
in
moved-
the existing?
Yeah, well, you mean in the ceiling?
Yeah, sure.
In the ceiling, we always had the soundproof, well, the insulation as insulation. We always had it, but not for the soundproof. I don't know what you mean with the soundproof insulation.
Sorry, there is a specific type of material. I don't want to get too technical because I do know the background of this. There's insulation for warmth, and there is insulation which is a soundproofing agent. Particularly, you can get that installed in, and I've worked on that type of situations where soundproofing is a difference between insulation. Okay.
You can refer to it as part of your presentation if you wish to. Just make a note and then come back to it.
It says in the report that an assessment's going to be done as to use of plastic drinking vessels. Do you know how far down the line you've gone with that? And if you intend bringing plastic drinking vessels in?
Again, I'd like to put as a condition on my license, I do not wish to have anybody leaving my premises with a drink, whether it's plastic or any other things like that. I would like to stop that as well.
Just one more,
Yes, of
Madam
course,
Chair. You say that you close sometimes early. What percentage of nights would you say out of the whole that you stay open or want to stay open? Or you do stay open while 1 o'clock at the moment?
Sometimes I close before 1. It all depends how busy it is, sir. Sometimes I close before 1, sometimes I close after 12.
But do you have a percentage of how many nights you really stay open, or is it always shut in?
Percentage, I mean, that question, I couldn't tell you. It depends how busy it is. Like the last few weeks has been very quiet. Hornsey has been very quiet day and night. So it all depends how busy it is or how many bookings I get for like private function, etc. So really, it all depends on the busyness.
The only thing I'm going with here is if you think that you're going to be shutting early quite a lot, do you really need the 2 o'clock extension? That's just a question I'm asking.
No, not necessarily 2 o'clock. I mean, 1:30, 1:20. But we always try to put the lights up half an hour before. We turn the music half an hour before. So just we tell people the reason why is because I would like people to sit and relax. I don't want them to just rush. That's why I'm doing the 11:30 so they can sit for an hour and a half, or even 2 hours, you know, relax with each other and enjoy the premises and the entertainment. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, and thank you for your questions. The relevant persons, your opening statement and witnesses, if any, please. So I don't.
I can understand what Claude's saying, not letting people in after 11:30 and wanting to extend, but living next door, it's rowdy at 1 o'clock, 1:30, up to 2 o'clock. And so I can understand that, but I can't, the only problem I can see with extending to 1:45 is you're just moving the rowdiness from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock or 1:30 to 2:30. You're just moving it on an hour because people will still try and drink as much as they can whether bars up until 1 or 1:45. As regards to music, I have, because we don't always have people in the flat above. So I've been in there with a decibel reader. And in the front room, which is over the bar, it was 50 decibels. We'd got no telly on, we hadn't switched the telly on or anything. And then upstairs in the bedrooms, there's 2 bedrooms upstairs. It was like between 30 and 35, which ain't too bad, but it's the constant bump, bump, bump of the music, which it vibrates through the whole building, yeah. So that's the other thing. As regards the security staff, we were in one Saturday night and they did keep my wife in because somebody had said something to her, but she hadn't heard what she'd said, but one of bar staff heard what she'd said. And when they left, they asked her to stop behind. So, you know, I've got nothing but praise for that. But if there's trouble inside, the security staff just seem to shove it outside and then forget about it and deny any responsibility what goes off outside on the street, which they did about 2 weeks ago. There was a fight. Friday night, police called ambulance. Yeah, well, the Saturday night, somebody asked what had happened, and they said nothing happened. It was nothing to do with us. It was somebody down there, and they just wiped the hands of it. Like it never happened, but it did. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah. But the others I haven't got an issue with, because I know you keep people safe because they did it with my wife. It's just that it's the time. Moving the time later. I can understand your reasons for wanting to do it. And if they are 11 last people coming in, then you're not letting people in. But I'm a bit concerned that your security staff will let people in after 11:30.
We've got the CCTV camera. If the licensing come and see people coming after 11:30, I can lose my license. My license can be provoked. So I'll be having proof that not after 11:30, no more entry.
I mean, I don't want to, don't get me wrong, I don't want to stop you making a living and doing what you want
No.
with your business,
Thank you.
but you know, it's causing a problem.
Yeah, at the moment I see it more causing problem because people are coming after 11:30 and 12 and 12:30 and 12:20. But when we stop it at 11:30, I don't think there'll be any issue anymore. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask a question? The noisiest part of music, we hear music across the fence from next door, etc., is when people turn the bass notes up high. Have you ever thought of turning the bass notes down? Because it's the bass notes that give the annoying thumping and vibration.
That's why I stopped DJs. I don't have DJs anymore. Sometimes I have bands till 11. That's to be honest. But DJs, we do it now. My manager does it, and we've got our own laptop and couple of loudspeakers, which we do it like really low to make sure that there is no. And please, if you hear anything, let me know straight away, and I'll turn it more down.
I don't know that DJs have a tendency to turn them up, don't they?
Well, he's not like a DJ, my manager, Neil. He's just like, he likes to play a few songs, but that's how we do it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just a quick one. Can you put into real terms what the negative impact of your business has been or what you've lost, roughly? How bad is it? Well, financially, are you the one who owns the flat above? You're representing the person, yeah. What in business terms, how much is he probably losing? Has he lost a lot of trade or?
Well, he's had to put in, I forget, Sykes, that there's nightclub and band on Friday and Saturday night in the restaurant below till 1:30, because it's 1:30. And bookings are really down, way down. I don't think we've got any for August. I think there's somebody coming tomorrow, and then there's nobody for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then but we've got there's nothing for July or August. So I don't know if that's impacting the fact that they can see that on the thing, because they've had to put it on, because people that's been in this year since it's been opened have been upset with the Friday, Saturday, and asked for the money back, and he's had to refund people's money for them 2 nights.
Yeah,
And people have gone home early, upset.
yeah, it's only reasonable though that you make declarations such as that, because
Yes.
the last thing you need is dissatisfied customers.
I think before it was changed in Sykes, somebody had been and sent him an email saying, you really shouldn't be saying that. But at the time, we didn't know if it were going to make a difference to upstairs, the noise upstairs and that. But yeah.
Can I ask a question? How many residential units are there nearby that are impacted by this?
And my brother has got a holiday let next to the lounge, and he's down more than Chris.
Is it?
Yeah. And I used to have a holiday let myself, and it was down this year. So this year has been really difficult. It has been very difficult. Hardly having any visitors in town as well, Mr. Parker. Even the bar has been down. The restaurant has been down. Food-wise, we serve 11 till 9 food. We've got a large variety of food menu, and it's nothing like last year.
Yeah, but surely that can be put down to weather conditions, the fact that it's not been a summer at all, apart from a little short period in April. We haven't had summer yet. So has that impacted on the amount of response that you're getting, or has the weather, the lack of business in the town generally, is that?
It's more bars in town. It's more, we don't have visitors as before. Usually we have visitors from April in Hornsey.
But that's to do with the weather conditions.
It is
not
the weather
noise
this year
of
as
the
well,
noisy
yeah.
neighbour.
No. It's the weather condition. Yeah, it's the weather.
Yeah, to the applicant, again, sorry, I was just following up on the question I asked, because I used to own a bed and breakfast, and July and August are the main times you make money, especially in a seaside resort. And I just wonder if Mr. Heatley is putting it down to the noise that's occurring in it that is causing him not to have as many bookings.
I think Chris thinks it is a factor, but obviously, if bookings are down, because we do quite. My wife runs a business where she does holiday lets. It's not just Chris. We've got 3 or 4, and 2 of them actually in town are down a little bit for turnovers, but we've got one in a little village further along which hasn't been affected at all. So they still chugging along nicely. People come in every week. They've more or less fully booked up till October, November. So whether it's just in town or whether it's the weather, but I think Chris thinks that it has impacted, because obviously people are complaining and having to give money back, and now he's had to put it on the Sykes' website that there's music till late at weekends. I think he thinks people are looking at it and going, don't really want to deal with that. So I can't. I mean, he sent me what he sent you. So I mean, that's all I know. That's all I can say.
So you're both satisfied that you've made your points and the message has been successful. Yeah. Okay. I have a section coming up here on the agenda, summing up, which is really to do with saying the same thing all over again. So if you want to say a reduced version of what you just said, the relevant persons first this time, please. Yeah.
I just think it's going to move it to the noise and the disturbance and the nuisance later into the night. Where it's a problem now, but if it goes an hour later, it's going to be a nightmare. So that's really the only thing I'm concerned about, is adding the 45 minutes on to the 1 o'clock. Chris has got obviously other things, and he's not happy. In fact, he was thinking of selling. He's thinking of selling, but I don't know what you've got. What Chris thinks, but that's basically that's my just taking it an hour later. You know, moving the problem from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
Thank you. So that's summing it up into a few
Yeah.
words, really, isn't it? And the same for you, if I may, please.
As I said, I'm not here to upset Chris or a neighbor or anyone, because like I said, I'm here to work along with the public. I don't want to upset anybody. The reason I'm doing this is because to have people come at 11:30, nice group of people whom I know, sometimes most of them, because Hornsey, we know each other, sit down in my establishment and relax and have a nice entertainment. And like I said, I've taken the highest measurement I could for the nuisance, for leaving the property in order, for having stuff at the door, door stuff, and to make sure the last entry will be 11:30. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you very much. Policy advice, please, from the Principal Health, Safety and Licensing Officer. Faye.
Thank you, Chair. If I can just start as well by noticing, I've noticed I've made an error when I've been outlining the application. The actual terminal hour is Friday to Saturday until 2, not Sunday, so I do apologise for that. Mention has been made in regards to the last admission of 11:30. Just to point out, this is not a condition of the licence. This is a voluntary step that the licence holder has implemented, but it's not a condition of the licence put forward. So if there was admissions after 11:30, it would not be in breach of the licence conditions. Mentions obviously also been made regarding noise. There is a review mechanism in place that if the premises is found to be not actively promoting the licensing objectives, any member of the public or responsible authority can ask the licensing authority for a review of the premise licence, providing that is supported with evidence. And that's it from me. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Legal advice from the legal advisor, please.
Thank you, Chair. Obviously, the licensing policy and guidance is well set out within the report at paragraph 4. But just in respect of to remind you that obviously each application must be considered on its own merits and in accordance with the licensing authority's statement of licensing policy. Any conditions attached to licenses and certificates must be tailored to the individual type, location and characteristics of the premises and events concerned. And obviously in relation to variation applications, then paragraph 8.41 states that in completing an operating schedule, applicants are expected to have regard to the statement of licensing policy for their area. Applicants are expected to include positive proposals in their application on how they will manage any potential risks. Licensing authorities are best placed to determine what actions are appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives in their areas, and all licensing determinations should be considered on a case-by-case basis. Determination should be evidence-based and justified as being appropriate for the promotion of the licensing objectives and proportionate to what it is intended to achieve. Obviously, the representations in this case do concern prevention of public nuisance. Just to reiterate what's in the report at paragraph 4.20, that appropriate conditions should normally focus on the most sensitive periods. For example, the most sensitive period for people being disturbed by unreasonably loud music is at night and into the early morning when residents in adjacent properties may be attempting to go to sleep or are sleeping. But paragraph 2.27 adds that beyond the immediate surrounding of the premises, these are matters for the personal responsibility of individuals under the law.
Thank you very much. So I think we now go into private deliberations. Private deliberations, please. So can we ask everyone just to leave us for a while, maybe half an hour? And if you wish, you can go home and we'll write to you and tell you what the outcome is, or you can stay here and come back in. That goes to both of you. Sorry? Okay, you make that decision.
I'll be down in about half an hour or so just to collect you and bring you back to the meeting. Okay.
Thank you.